Trade union in wage determination. In this lesson, we will analyze the impact of trade union on wage rate and quantity of labor employed in a perfectly competitive labor market and monopsony. What is a trade union? A trade union is an association formed by workers to promote their interests. Some of the functions of a trade union include the following. It collectively bargains for an increase in the salaries of its members. It negotiates better working conditions and safety at work. A trade union also fights against unfair dismissal of any of its members. The trade union is more successful than if each worker negotiates independently. And it has tools that it can use to achieve its aims, such as asking workers to go on strike. In a perfectly competitive labor market, the wage rate, WE, is determined by the intersection of demand for labor and supply of labor. QE workers are employed. A trade union bargains for a wage increase from WE to WT. A horizontal line is drawn from WT. As a result, QT workers are employed. This is determined by the intersection of the blue horizontal line and the demand for labor curve. QT is less than the number employed before the trade union negotiation. At the trade union bargained wage rate, the supply of labor exceeds the demand for labor by the distance from B to E. The firm's demand for labor reduces owing to a wage rate increase. A wage rise is an additional cost to the business, thereby leading to a cut in the number of workers employed by the firm. A rise in the wage rate will encourage more people to offer themselves for work, thereby increasing the supply of labor. QE to QT represents the number of those who were previously employed at the equilibrium wage rate, but have lost their jobs. While QP to QT represents the total number of people who have no jobs, this number includes those who had lost their jobs owing to a wage rise and the people who decided to offer themselves for work because the wage rate has gone up. Let's consider the impact of trade union in a monopsony. The actual wage rate paid by the firm is WM, and quantity of workers employed is QM. When a trade union negotiates a pay rise, the wage rate increases from WM to WT. Remember to trace WT horizontally to the supply of labor curve. This produces the quantity employed of QT, which is more than the quantity employed without trade union in this market. A trade union is usually more successful in a monopsony than in a perfectly competitive labor market. In a perfectly competitive labor market, the trade union is able to raise the wage rate, but the number of workers decreases. In the diagram on the left, wage rises from WE to WT, and the quantity of labor falls from QE to QT. In monopsony, a trade union succeeds in raising the wage rate from WM to WT. The quantity of labor also increases from QM to QT.